Have you ever felt like you've been pushed aside by the people you've known the longest? Even your own family? Maybe it's after 70, or maybe it's been going on for years. But what if I told you there's something you can do to turn it all around? Stay tuned, because I'm about to show you the 6 reasons why people leave. And most importantly, how to stop it. Let's dive in. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Many elderly people start to feel like they're burdening others. And it's not because you are a burden, but because your loved ones might not know how to support you without feeling overwhelmed. This creates distance and leaves them feeling guilty. But here's the thing. You can change this dynamic. As we age, we often find ourselves needing help more than we did when we were younger. But the reality is, not everyone is comfortable with giving or receiving help, especially in family relationships. Sometimes, our children or loved ones can become overwhelmed with their own lives, careers, or families, and they start to distance themselves emotionally because they don't want to feel burdened by our needs. But here's the secret. You are not a burden. You are a person worthy of love, respect, and care, just like you've always been. To change this dynamic, start by having those honest conversations. Don't be afraid to express that you understand their struggles, but also communicate that you need them just as much as they need you. At the same time, make an effort to remain independent and capable, doing what you can on your own to give them room to breathe. It's all about finding that balance between independence and asking for help. It's hard to watch someone you love age. It brings up feelings of helplessness, guilt, and sometimes even fear. When people see you struggling with your health or losing your energy, it might feel easier for them to avoid you than face the reality of aging. But here's the deal. This fear of aging doesn't have to be a reason for distance. Aging is a natural part of life, but it can be a scary process for both you and your loved ones. When your children or friends see you slowing down, they might be afraid of what that means for their future, or they may feel powerless to help. They may even be afraid of losing you, and as a result, they start to pull back emotionally because they can't bear the thought of watching you get older. But here's what you need to remember. Growing older is not something to fear. It's an opportunity to embrace new experiences, wisdom, and joy in ways you may not have had time for before. Share your positive outlook on aging with your loved ones. Show them that while physical changes are inevitable, the essence of who you are remains strong. Encourage them to focus on the moments you still have together and how you can create new memories. The more open and accepting you are of your aging process, the more your loved ones will feel comfortable being part of it, rather than avoiding it. It's not uncommon for older adults to feel like they're losing their identity as they age. You're no longer the same person you were years ago, and that can make people uncomfortable. They may no longer know how to relate to you, but you've got something they can't ignore. Wisdom. As we get older, there's often a shift in how we see ourselves. The things that once defined us, our careers, our physical appearance, our social circles, can start to fade or change. And for some, that change can create a feeling of losing their identity. But it's important to remember that just because you're evolving doesn't mean you're losing yourself. In fact, you are becoming something even greater. Your family may struggle with this shift because they remember the old you, the person who had a different role in their lives. It can be hard for them to understand that you're still you, just with a different set of experiences and wisdom. But you've lived a rich, full life, and your story is something that can still impact others. To re-establish your identity in their eyes, share your life's journey. Talk about the lessons you've learned and the moments that have shaped who you are today. By embracing your changing identity and showing others that you're still the same person with valuable experiences, you can deepen your connection with them. When they see that you still have so much to offer, they'll realize you're not just someone to be taken care of. You're someone to learn from and grow with. It's tough, isn't it? Vulnerability is something many people don't know how to deal with, especially when it comes from someone they care about. When you show your vulnerability, it can create discomfort for others who don't know how to handle it. But listen closely. Your vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. As we age, our bodies and minds change, and we may not be as physically strong or mentally sharp as we once were. This can make us feel vulnerable, and when we share these feelings of fragility with others, they may struggle to respond. They don't know whether to comfort us, help us, or just pretend everything is fine. This discomfort can sometimes cause them to pull away. But your vulnerability is not something to hide. In fact, it's a powerful tool for connection. By showing others that you're human, just like them, you open the door for deeper, more meaningful relationships. When they see that you're okay with being vulnerable, they'll be more comfortable doing the same. The key here is to create a safe space for both you and your loved ones to be open and honest. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but also reassure them that it's okay to feel vulnerable too. Vulnerability can be the glue that brings you closer together and strengthens your relationship. Here's a hard truth. Life moves fast for everyone. Your loved ones are busy juggling their own careers, families, and responsibilities. And sometimes, they unintentionally distance themselves from you because they're overwhelmed by their own life. But it doesn't mean they don't care about you. Life never slows down, no matter how old we get. Your loved ones may be consumed by their own challenges. Raising children, advancing in their careers, managing households, and they can sometimes unintentionally drift away because they simply don't have the time or energy to reach out. But just because they're busy doesn't mean they don't love you or care for you. You can still play an important role in their lives. So, how do you bridge that gap? Start by being proactive. Reach out with small gestures. Text them to say hi. Share something meaningful that's happening in your life, or even send a funny meme. Stay on their radar so they know you're thinking about them. The more you put yourself out there, the more they'll start to carve out time for you. Small, intentional actions can keep the connection alive. And when they see that you're not just waiting around for them, but actively engaging with them, they'll realize how much they need you in their lives. This one is tough, but it's something that happens often, especially with long relationships. After so many years, people feel like they've shared everything they could. But don't let this be the end of your story. When you've known someone for decades, it's easy to feel like there's nothing new to discuss. The same old stories get told over and over again, and conversations may start to feel repetitive. People start to assume that the relationship has hit a plateau, that there's nothing new to discover. But here's the truth. There's always something new to share. Your life doesn't stop just because you've reached a certain age. New experiences, new lessons, and even new thoughts emerge as you continue to evolve. To reignite the spark in your relationships, keep the conversation fresh. Share something you've never talked about before. An old memory you never mentioned, a new hobby you've picked up, or a new perspective on a topic you both care about. Every day is an opportunity to learn more about one another. By staying open and curious, you'll remind your loved ones that the journey is far from over, and there's always more to discover. So, what's the solution to all of this? It's not about fixing the people around you. It's about fixing how you see yourself and the relationships you have. It's about taking charge of your self-worth and showing others that you're not just aging. You're evolving into someone even more extraordinary. Start by reaching out, embracing your vulnerabilities, and building a new connection with the people in your life. Show them that you're valuable, lovable, and still full of wisdom to offer. Because in the end, those who truly care will see your light and never leave you behind. Don't let age define you. Let your heart and spirit do that. If you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more insights on how to live your best life at any age. And if you've experienced something similar, share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear your story.